America's Mayor Live. And tonight, having thought I have seen everything, I realize we are now watching the culmination of 4 or 5 years of an unrelenting attack by the Democrat crooks. And you know who they are, the group of Democrats, starting with Obama and Holder and moving on to Biden and the crooked Attorney General Garland, of course, in the middle of it, having had the case fixed for her. The 51 lying intelligence officials who helped to fix the last election, the Swalwells and the Shifty Shifts, and now we have this guy Goldman or Goodman or Goldstein. What's his name?
Goldman.
Yeah, Goldman. Yeah, he's the new Swalwell liar. And there are so many of them. Pelosi, of course, Raskin. Each one of them, in part, has taken down our rule of law. Parts of it. The right to counsel in the case of Donald Trump, myself, people associated with Trump, virtually is non-existent. The right of privacy destroyed. From the day I began representing Trump, the FBI surreptitiously took my iCloud account, kept it for 4 years, eventually dropped it and wrote a letter to the grand jury saying they couldn't find any probable cause that I committed a crime. What the hell did they take it in the first place for? I mean, if there was no probable cause at the end, how was there probable cause at the beginning? The same thing with searching my house. The same thing with searching lots of people's houses. The lack of probable cause in many cases. And if there was probable cause, barely for some of them, the method in which the houses were searched with Gestapo-like troops, or if you don't like that, you think that's too insensitive, FBI agents dressed up like special forces. I don't know when that I don't know when J. Edgar Hoover turned the FBI into a military force, but when you saw going to take that dangerous, very, very dangerous criminal Roger Stone, it looked like they were taking a war criminal who was going to shoot it out with them. And of course, it was done with the invitation of CNN, right there to get every shot, as they were right there on January 6th to get the kill shot on Ashley Babbitt. So the rule of law, I guess I should have known it was gone. I kind of felt it last week for sure that I wasn't in an American courtroom in any way that would fit in 1,000 years of Anglo-American law when you're not allowed to put in a defense, and they find that you're guilty based on the failure to produce documents that have nothing to do with liability, and then you find liability, and you're not allowed to put in a defense to that, and then you're not allowed to put in a defense to damages either, even though you have what you regard as pretty much unassailable videos showing that you're right. And lots of other people do too, who have seen it on television, thousands, millions, if not millions. But that's all cut out. And then an award that I would say I don't think you have to consider anything else in order to conclude that the whole proceeding was absurd and the award and throw it out. But tonight, I would say in the state of Colorado, 4 Democrat justices of the Colorado Supreme Court have virtually destroyed the rule of law in Colorado. They've made a ruling that no one who has the slightest bit of understanding of American law or English law would regard as anything but illegal and lawless. In fact, the antithesis of the rule of law, an arbitrary opinion based on nothing. 4 judges, I believe, of that court, The court's all Democrats, and 3 of them disagreed. But 4 justices of that court decided that Donald Trump can't be on the ballot because he engaged in insurrection. Now, before I get to the constitutional provision and show you how what they did was a monstrosity and absurdity to the point of being corrupt and dishonest, ask yourself, has he ever been charged with insurrection? No. Has anyone else involved in January 6th been charged with insurrection? No. More important than that, has he been tried for insurrection? No. Has anybody else been tried for insurrection? No. Maybe even more important, has anyone or has anyone been convicted of insurrection with regard, to January 6th? No. Has he been convicted of insurrection with regard to January 6th? No. Uh, these are, in essence, charges against him. Has he been given his basic fundamental constitutional right to defend himself? Or like me, was that denied him? It wasn't even thought of. They didn't bother to hear from him as to what his explanation is, nor did they explain how you can reach this conclusion without a charge, without a trial, without a defense, without the right to cross-examine, without a verdict. That's goodbye courts. No, we don't need them anymore. We just, get a bunch of politicians together, and they decide, you don't belong on the ballot because they decided you were involved in an insurrection that nobody charged, nobody proved, nobody had a chance to defend themselves against. Do you realize where we are? I don't think I could possibly be accused of exaggeration if I told you that this is the kind of thing that happened in the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, currently in, China. This doesn't happen in England and France and Germany, and doesn't happen in countries ruled by law. Before people are, incarcerated or rights are taken away from them, they're charged with something and they're given a right to defend themselves. That was not done here because we no longer are a country of laws. Or better put, we're a country with, 2 systems of justice, which means no justice at all. We have, basically no rights for Donald Trump and those who work with him, agree with him, are associated with him. Their rights, can be sacrificed to the utilitarian purpose of finding them guilty, in order to prevent him from being president. I mean, that's why there are 4 trials, all 4 Democrat political district attorneys charging crimes that have never been charged before for next year. That they're not that's not a criminal those are not criminal cases. Those are obstructions to running for president. And the sooner the Supreme Court takes that up, even sua sponte, and says, "Out with all those cases and let's have an election," America's gone. If this ruling stands, America is gone as a rule of law. I don't know if you appreciate how absurd it is. Again, no one's been charged with insurrection. No one's had a trial about insurrection. No one's been able to defend themselves against insurrection. There's been no verdict of insurrection. How can you keep them off the ballot for insurrection? Unless you are a crooked, slimy, dishonest Democrat judge. And doesn't this describe, unfortunately, not the whole party, way too much of it nowadays? Way too much? Has it become as evil as it was when it was the party of slavery? Have those ancient, sins of the party come back to haunt it and taken over and completely rotted the head of the party? Could be, could be. Or do we have some responsibility for having not spoken up early when they took our rights away from us during the pandemic, when they told us we couldn't go to church on Easter or the high holy days. And they said our children couldn't go to school, even though we knew that was terrible. Turned out to be a disaster for American education. When we were forced to take vaccines that we knew weren't tested, mandated to do it by Biden, jobs taken away by dictatorial Democrat governors like the one in my state. I want you to look at words. Can we put those up? This is all based on the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was passed right after the Civil War, and this provision was to make sure that none of the rebels, none of the people that engaged in a revolution against the United States held public office. Uh, so it has a very specific purpose. There was, I want you to note, and this is a very, very, very important thing, that specific offices are mentioned here. The ones that are very curiously not mentioned are the office of president and vice president. So you begin immediately with, does this apply to the presidency and the vice presidency? It's an awfully big sanction, and one of the rules of war is you don't assume things, and you don't construe very, very important statutes broadly. What that means is, you don't read words for more that they strictly mean, or you don't add words that easily could have been added if they wanted to. This was the decision of a number of, or at least some lower court judges, that this provision, Section 3, that the, Colorado court used to reach a lawless decision, doesn't apply at all to the presidency of the United States. And it reads as follows. Do we have it up there so they can see it? It reads Section 3. I'll read I've underlined the relevant portions because it goes off on a lot of other things. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress, or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States, who, and you skip ahead, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same. So here are the questions. It does say hold any office. But would you include the presidency in a catch-all provision? You include high offices like senator and representative. If you were going to apply this to the president, it'd be right up there with no person shall be president, vice president, senator, or representative, or hold any office. You don't make the presidency an afterthought to senator and representative, if that's what you intended. That would be the reasonable interpretation using time-honored, what we call rules of construction. That's why we're lawyers, because we follow rules. We don't make them up to reach the result we want to reach. Well, that's why they're judges. That's what they take an oath to do. When they don't do that, they violate their oath. They act lawlessly. These judges acted abominably because they didn't act like judges. They acted like prosecutors. They acted like jurors. They acted like the execution. and then also a judge. They only have one of those roles. They don't have all four. To take over all four is to break the law, judge. So again, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president. You think if they wanted to include the president and vice president, they would have included it when they put in an elector of president and vice president. They don't. Or hold any office, civil or military. So they take senator, representative, mention it, elector for president and vice president, and then they have a we would call or hold any office a catch-all phrase. It encompasses many, many offices: U.S. Attorney, Attorney General, Secretary of Defense. Um, Again, you're not going to include the presidency as, oh, just another office. If this very, very onerous provision were to apply, it would have said president and vice president. It also would have logically set up a procedure for determining if there was insurrection or not, as it does for impeachment. That's what the procedure for. And but then it does something else that these intellectually dishonest judges and crooked Democrats avoided. They forget there's a section, you turn the page, the Constitution amendment has a very short little final section. But as a lawyer, you have to read all sections, not just the ones you want to read. And this is section 5 of the 14th Amendment. It says, the Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. What's the appropriate legislation? What that says to me is it was intended that a procedure be set up, even with regard to the senators and the representatives and the other smaller offices, so that a dictator didn't decide whether they were insurrectionists, but there was a procedure to decide. And the Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. It also means this article is not to be enforced by anyone else. It hasn't been enabled yet. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want you to read that language again. This is very, very important language, and I hope I'm not boring you with the legalities of this, but they are so important because this is what guarantees these words in this Constitution are sacred. This is what has made us the greatest nation on earth, and loyalty to it, like the 3 Democrats who ruled against the other 4. Loyalty to it is the sign of being a patriotic American. We're not a country of one race, one religion, one ethnic background, one language. We're a country that believes in one constitution, which has been the greatest written constitution in the history of the world and held together the greatest nation, the most contributing nation in the history of the world. And those who don't believe it, please go live somewhere else. Section 5 says, the Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. This article is not, it doesn't say the courts shall enforce this article. It says, I think I'm reading the word Congress there. You know what they essentially did? I'm going to show you what they did. They did this. The judges did this. The 4 dishonest, crooked, Democratic judges did this. Crossed out Congress, and they wrote the courts. That's what they did. They wrote the word courts in there. Do you realize that that's completely dishonest and illegal? They wrote the word courts in there, just like they wrote the word president in section 3, and it isn't there. All in order, once again, steal an election. You wanna tell me they didn't steal the last election? Look how far they go. Look how far they go, and look what damage they do to this great republic of ours. These judges should be impeached for this decision. I believe this is an impeachable offense. This is, we've countenanced in this country, oh gosh, in the last 30 or 40 years, a tremendous amount of intellectual dishonesty on the court. Uh, but there's nothing like nothing. I would have told you 4 or 5 years ago when we did have, basically rudimentary legal system left. I would have told you as a lawyer that I guarantee you this will be reversed, uh, almost per curiam. I still believe that's true, but I saw the Supreme Court try to really avoid some fastballs, and the federal courts hide on the whole issue of stolen election, no, not even hearing. I don't know, that somehow the courts now have decided you don't have hearings. Witnesses. Gosh, I carried all these videos and audios and stuff like that with me. I never got a chance to play it for the jury. And now what they wanna do, catch this one. Now they wanna get a gag order, so I can't play it for you. See what they wanna they wanna shut me up. Well, we will take a short break, and we'll be right back in what used to be America. Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us. Heroes who risked their lives to keep our communities and our country safe. Heroes like United States Marine Corps Captain and pilot John Jeremy Sachs. Captain Sachs sustained fatal injuries when his military aircraft crashed during training, killing him and 5 other service members. He's remembered by loved ones as courageous, brilliant, and devoted to his career, family, and friends. John is survived by his wife, Amber, who gave birth to their second daughter 3 months after his death. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family home for Amber and their 2 daughters. The foundation has helped over 1,000 military and first responder families navigate the worst of times by removing the burden of a mortgage payment. Our nation's heroes and their families need your help now more than ever. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. T2T.org. That's T, the number 2T.org. T2T.org. Please donate now. Good evening. This is Rudy Giuliani back again with America's Mayor Live after a half hour of a law school lecture. I'm sorry if I burdened you with that too much, but this is a very, very this is an extraordinarily dangerous thing they have done. When you unhinge the rule of law, then a democracy falls apart. You know, there's a quote that I can't do accurately from A Man for All Seasons that Thomas More, the character playing Thomas More, quotes to his rather rambunctious son-in-law who wants to, you know, sort of fight. And he says, you know, if you tear down, he says, England is planted thick with laws from sea to sea. And if you tear down the protection of those laws, Roper, and you're just the one to do it, when the winds of injustice blow, what's going to protect you? Well, nothing's protecting Trump people with the winds of injustice blowing. Those trees only exist now for Hunter Biden, who hides in them for 5-6 years, Joe Biden, a 30-year career criminal, who's sitting in the White House having sold his country out, even to our enemies. Did you ever think in the era of the Cold War that a Eisenhower or a Kennedy could have sat in office if their family got $30 million from the Soviet Union? Well, his family got $30 million from China. I didn't say him yet. Now, I'm saying that really almost against my will. I know he got it, and I know the proof is there, and I've actually shown it to you. But they keep saying there's no proof of it. But there doesn't have to be proof of it. The fact that his family got it was treason. I'm telling you, if Franklin Roosevelt got $30 million from Adolf Hitler, or his family did, he'd have been impeached. Probably would have been executed. And wouldn't have done it because the man was a patriot, whatever hell else he was. And so was Kennedy, and so was Reagan. This man is not even relevant whether he's a patriot. He's a scumbag criminal. That's what he is. All his life, he's been a scumbag criminal. He's a scumbag grandfather. He's a massive liar. He's a sick man before he was demented. And he's caused the lives, except maybe in times of war, for a president where we're not directly involved in war. He's cost more lives than any American president. I mean, we go from Trump handing him a world at peace, and he's got a world at war. Any reasonably competent woman would have gotten us out of Afghanistan without all those people being killed. And I think if we had anything approaching a president, Putin would not have invaded Ukraine, and those people wouldn't be dead. And now he's really double-crossing Israel. All he does is squeal and complain that Israel isn't being careful enough. That Israel, he gets that miserable weasel of a Secretary of State that was involved in the Burisma thing with him. He gets him to constantly tell Israel to be more careful about the civilians when they know damn well that Hamas puts the civilians in front of their arms, even shoots them if they try to leave. It's a war crime to do that. And why don't you at least mention the Palestinian war crimes at the same time that you make your specious argument about their war crimes? What nation has ever gone out of their way to warn civilians the way Israel has done? I do believe during the bombings of Berlin and Germany, they dropped leaflets, but I'm sure it wasn't with the intensity of what's going on here. And nobody condemned the British for doing that, or even us. When you count civilian deaths, I seem to remember, I'd have to go back and be sure this is right, but I seem to remember having read that our percentage of civilian deaths were higher in the wars that we've been in than the Israelis. And nobody was deliberately trying to get civilians killed in our wars. Well, maybe they were in some cases. That's not actually totally correct. But Biden is on the other side. He's not on the side of Israel. He's doing everything he can to make sure that Hamas continues to exist and is not annihilated. Even failing to put pressure on Qatar to release the leaders and use that as a focal point and pressure point for getting our hostages back. And his lack of interest in getting our hostages back is, if he's still a Catholic, he would know a mortal sin. He's going to lose his soul for that. The degree and level of anti-Semitism, Jewish hatred in this country is astonishing and very, very disappointing. And the president of the United States has said much less about that than he has the specious charge that we are a systemically racist country, or that we need a commission on Islamophobia. we do not need a commission on Islamophobia because we don't practice Islamophobia. It's an occasional thing that happens, and probably not too much greater than the prejudice against Asians or others. The 2/3 of the hate crimes are now against Jewish people. There's no commission for that. It's ignored. President doesn't use his bully pulpit to try to stop that. He uses his bully pulpit to try to stop something that isn't going on, where he thinks he's going to get more votes because he's been threatened by the Arabs with they're not going to vote for him. I don't know. I guess he figures the Jewish vote will vote for him no matter what he does. He can double cross Israel. He can give money to a country that wants to destroy Israel. He can give that country billions that is committed to killing Jews. He's giving money to a country that trains their young people to kill Jewish people. And he feels he's going to get the Jewish vote anyway. There's something in my mind wrong with that, but I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not God. I don't know how that works. But that's what he thinks. The anti-Semitism in our major universities is a disgrace. Harvard, having had a despicable history of anti-Semitism, no Jews need apply. It broke it some time back. I don't know if it was 40 years ago or 50 years ago. There were a large number of Jewish students at Harvard over the last number of decades. I think it once got up to as high as 25%, where the population's about 3. The nice thing about that is having gone to school with a lot of those Jewish students, I can tell you it was on merit. Nobody was picking them because they were Jewish. Nor did anybody pick anybody because they were Italian. I'll tell you that. You can be sure of that. I was the first U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York that was Italian-American. Only the second mayor of New York to be Italian-American. And the guy before me was half Jewish and Episcopalian. Mayor LaGuardia had an Italian name, and he was Italian. His father was Italian. But his father was a Protestant, which made things a little easier with the Protestants who thought the Pope was going to come over and take over New York. And he spoke Yiddish because his mom was Jewish. People used to tease me and say I was half Jewish too, which I didn't. Yeah, and you've heard my nice use of Hebrew when we celebrated the other night, right? And there is a record of me somewhere as half Jewish, though. But officially, I really am not. But Harvard's got quite a president, right? This reminds me of the Supreme Court justice who couldn't tell us what a woman was. I thought she should have been thrown out of the court of this. At that point, all the Democrats and Republicans should have gone, oh my God, we're not going to make you. If you can't tell us what a woman is, you can't be a judge.
But Mayor, she's not a biologist. Come on. She can't tell you.
I didn't think of that, Mike.
That's what her response was. She's not a biologist to tell you what a woman is. Even though she's a woman, she can't tell you what one is.
Yeah.
It's very crazy. Insane.
It's like a fish. You can't really tell.
Could she have been allowed? Could we have allowed her to take like an open book exam?
Yes.
And said, a judge will give you a few minutes to go do a little research. Or are your mother and father alive? Maybe you'd like to ask them.
Phone a friend, like wants to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like
what do they call that? The helpline?
Yeah, the helpline. Yeah.
Hey, Cecily, you know what a woman is? Hey, dummy, you. A woman's me. Can I go to the court now? Well, the president of Harvard thinks that although if you display Islamophobia, or you make fun of Muhammad, or you like Donald Trump, you should be thrown out of Harvard, and you did horrible things. If you advocate for genocide, it's a question of the context in which you do it. So, I mean, is it like a lot of genocide or a little? See, genocide means I don't even know if she really was educated, because she plagiarized her papers. And the woman that she plagiarized it from was also an African-American woman, says she's really a dope, who's, the product of affirmative action. Wouldn't be the first time, right? But I go back and forth whether Elise Stefanik should have asked the one question too many. Like, well, give me a context in which genocide's okay. Since genocide means the complete elimination of people, what is it? If you do it quickly, it's okay in that context. But if you take longer, it's bad. Do you realize how beyond everything else, the insensitivity, the racism, the prejudice, the Jewish hatred that displays? You realize it does display that the woman who said that she's a dope is right, and she's the president of Harvard? That's a dopey answer. It shows you don't understand the meaning of the word genocide.
Do you think our society 50 years ago would have been more hypersensitive to this kind of stuff, where somebody would have stepped in and said, this person is not qualified, get them out of here? You know, but when now they float them.
She obviously doesn't know what the word genocide means, because there can't be any context under which genocide is okay, because it means the complete elimination of the Uyghurs, or the complete elimination of the Jewish people, or the complete elimination of the Armenians, which is what Turkey wanted. Turkey wanted to cruelly eliminate the Greeks too. Turkey has a kind of thing for genocide.
As you're explaining this,
Plus, they were rather partial to Hitler.
They're
As
very
were the
pro
Arabs.
Palestinian.
As were the Arabs.
They're very pro-Palestinian in Turkey.
And
Turkey's-
the Arabs were very pro. I mean, the Grand Mufti Pufti used to go meet with Hitler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Palestinians thought they would work with the Nazis, and in fact, I believe they had a Palestinian majority brigade or group of soldiers under Nazis' control, German control.
That the only thing wrong with Hitler was he didn't get rid of all the Jews. They say that.
They do say that.
They do say that. We heard that. I've heard that from who they call themselves Palestinian Americans. Let's drop the Americans, okay? These people are. You cannot be American
78%
and take the position.
of the Palestinians are in favor of Hamas. Cut the bull, okay? And you, Haley, cut the bull. Nikki Haley says half of them are okay. How the hell she knows that, I don't know. That's just the reason why she shouldn't be president, because she's a lying political panderer.
she didn't even know the names of the regions. What the hell does she know?
Oh yeah, that's
She
right.
couldn't. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Good point to remind us of that. The only person that didn't get a
Amazing.
pass on that stage, right?
Beverly
Look, I'm not.
Hills, Beverly Hills,
all she
Hampton
knew.
Court,
Yeah, that's exactly what Nikki Haley
and
knows.
Cambridge.
She can find her way around Cambridge
It's Cambridge.
and the Hamptons. She knows how to get to the
It's
Hamptons.
the Hamptons. It's the Hamptons.
I bet she knows her way around the Upper East Side. But okay, how about Ukraine? Name one region.
He hung her out to dry.
Yeah. And he was very nice to her. He didn't push. He could have pushed that further and have really embarrassed her.
Maybe we take a blank map of Ukraine and see if she can point them out.
Point out where Ukraine is on the map, Nikki Haley.
Probably home studying it for the past couple of weeks.
You know, I would give her like a C if she got to Kazakhstan at least.
Right?
Yeah.
But she doesn't get an excuse. She was the UN. She was U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Nobody on that stage really gets an excuse for not knowing those.
Now let's see.
but-
I mean, Vivek did the right thing. Vivek said he's out of the Colorado primary if Trump has been excluded, and he has challenged the other Republicans to do the same thing. Let us see if they do that, because there can't be any way in which they can defend this, even if you're Christie, and even if you think that Trump engaged in an insurrection. It has never been charged. It's never been proved. There's never been a proceeding for it. If you read that amendment carefully, Chris, you can see that Article 5 has an enforcement provision. It's never been enforced. Enforcement's never been passed. You're not that good a lawyer. I know that because I remember working with you as a lawyer. But usually, you used to take my advice on the law. Take my advice. It's a provision that doesn't apply to the president. Doesn't mention him. Calls for enforcement by Congress that never happened. If it applies, somebody's gonna have to set up an enforcement procedure. Nobody did. Even you get even that should get through. And when I said you're not a good lawyer, I'm just being being nasty because I'm angry at you. What you are is clouded by hatred. And I say that to you. I'm not going to say it as a friend, but I say it to you as another human being. You are completely clouded by hatred for Trump. It's worse. This is personal.
Yeah,
Trump derangement is like the pandemic. It's a disease, and Democrats get it because they're together a lot. They spend a lot of, particularly the congressional ones. They obviously spend a lot of time together.
It's in fashion.
I'm going to be really careful not to make the joke that's right on the tip of my tongue. And that's why I'm going to take a short break now and maybe whisper it to you because I got a great one. But I think
you're gonna hear it.
But I know you're not because I think I could get thrown off for good if I have told this joke.
Our device is something that you can plug into your television, and now you can use your television as a social television type experience. So in the Portal universe, you can watch your favorite content creators' videos, live streams, music. We also have TV subscriptions as well.
Subscriptions.
You can also
regular channels, all the sports.
Right, you can actually cut your cable from your cable subscription and get QUX TV on our QX TV boxes, and you can pay half the price that you're currently paying for your cable television subscription, and you can get all the best premium TV channels and more. I mean, it's really, there's so much on there, Rudy. I mean, you've seen it.
No, I've seen it and I use it, and it's good. I mean, it's just exactly the same except for half the price. Plus, nobody is finding out what I'm watching, and that's not being reported to anybody.
Right, so you have absolute privacy using this device, which you don't have on other devices out there currently on the market.
This is absolutely great. QUX.TV is how you can find out about it. QUX.TV.
Use promo code RUDY to receive $30 off.
Live.
This is Rudy Giuliani back with you with America's Mayor Live. We are now at my favorite portion of the show, and this is when I take my my balance of nature, and because I was getting ready. Now I want you. That's my Christmas tree. You see my Christmas tree?
Yep.
That's my Christmas tree, and you see what I did? You can do that. You can do that. I'll even show you how to do it if you want. Want me to show you how to do it?
Pick up a cigarette lighter and heat up the end of it and punch right through.
Oh, come on. No cigarette lighter.
Yeah, you heat up
We should really play a Christmas. Tomorrow night we'll open with the Christmas tree and we'll play a Christmas carol. Because I think, today's the 19th, right?
Today is
The 19th.
the 19th.
So starting tomorrow, we'll say we're getting ready for Christmas. Okay?
Balanceofnature.com, promo
I did
code
some
Rudy.
Christmas
You
shopping
should use
today.
that promo code
Right?
Rudy.
Use
That's
it
right,
everywhere.
Mayor.
Use it everywhere. Rudy.
So now I've here are my here. I have two more. There may be, by the time we're finished, there may be two more up there. So here's what I did. I'll show you on this one. I took a little pen, right? And all I did was this. Made a little hole right here. And they give you a spot for the hole. It's even good. I don't know if they did that. Now, in this case, I wish I had a green. I mean, I have a red clip. The red is good. That's sort of like a Christmas color, right?
You want a really red one? Like this?
Yeah. That's what I used for the. I'm going to get a green, but I'm going to make this even better. I'm going to make a green clip. So then you open it like that. You play. This is like, remember they had this guy that used to show you how to make things on Saturday mornings.
MacGyver? Oh.
I don't know. No, that was that. And all you have to do is bend it a little like this. See, just bend it like that. Then you go like this and close it. And now you can start manipulating it the way you want. Right? You want a high one like that. You can clip it right. You can put it on like that. You can double it down and go like this, right? Make it lower like that. See? A little lower. And there you go.
Yep.
And put it on your tree. And you're all set. But the main reason, I can have 4 of these on the tree before I'm finished. I've been taking these like crazy.
That's right. So not only wow, so what a
Got
creative.
it got me through. It got me
Last-
through getting framed.
That's balance of nature. Get your balance of nature today. You're supporting your body and your health and those you love.
I don't know.
But you're also supporting everything we're doing here
They're
on
trying
the
to
show.
get like a gag order on me. The gag order would say that I can't say anything about the 2 women. But I don't think the gag order would prevent me from my right to say what I think of the judge. I mean, that would really be rather extraordinary, and I would think would violate the First Amendment because, well, since there is no gag order right now, the reason I know so much about the rule of law is I'm one of the people that's been through a case where the rule of law didn't exist, and that was the case I just went through. Like, for example, when you can't show anything in your defense, that's like called a frame-up.
How is that even possible? Has that ever happened in history before?
Well, how is what happened in Colorado possible?
Right.
How do they say with nothing that you can throw him off the ballot for insurrection? You just say it. You just say he did an insurrection. I mean, even if we start looking at the facts that exist, this is the only insurrection, I think, or attempted. First of all, it wasn't an insurrection. Most you could say it was an attempted insurrection. Now we go back from that. The attempted insurrection was attempted without a gun against the most armed nation in the world. Exactly how are you going to carry that insurrection out?
Without inviting you into the building.
Where's the proof of any plans for an insurrection? How do you square an insurrection when his final words were go to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically? And I didn't see him wink when he said that. You know, he didn't go. Go peacefully and
There was no
patriotically.
sign of sarcasm.
You know, or even the confusion that could be created if somebody like Biden said it and then walked off in the wrong direction. They might have thought that was a signal. You know, like when he. Have you noticed he's really gone now? He really is in another freaking world. How this guy is going to run for president. Wow. Even the speeches, he's having trouble reading.
Yeah, they probably decided he don't need his drugs anymore. Never mind, it's all over with him anyway. Probably what's going on.
But they got to keep him together. They really don't have anybody else to run because, I mean, I think it shocked the hell out of him when Trump beat everybody else, even worse than Biden. I think it really shocked the hell out of the crooks, the Democratic crooks, the election defrauders.
Yeah.
I call them election
You gotta keep
defrauders.
up with this, man.
Yeah.
Democrats have been stealing elections since Tammany Hall. Come on, all this
Now,
pious, sanctimonious crap about nobody's
well, we were never shocked by President Trump's success in the primaries, both now and last cycle. And I didn't know you then, but in 2016, we've talked enough about it. You saw what was coming, just as I did, and so maybe I think you're right though in that these people, they're not that smart, right? I mean, they're shocked by it because they don't get it. They don't understand the American people. They're not in tune, right? Because we figured that this sort of stuff would help them.
It would be interesting to see how many people get this, because this is not really necessarily illegal. This is an exercise in fairly simple logic. If you can't get this, we're in deep trouble. Meaning, how do you penalize a person without a trial? So, it says in a document, it says the word insurrection. Now somebody has to find out if that happened. You can't just say, it says insurrection. I say insurrection, you're gone. Now you have to prove that. And no matter how much you hate this Trump guy, you got to give him a chance to disprove it. Otherwise, we're an uncivilized, pre-Roman, pre-Greek country. Yeah, yeah, we're just in the arm where we got a set of laws for Republicans and a set of laws for Democrats, and that makes us like Hitler. Taylor Swift is man of the year, person of the year, however you want to look at it. I welcome her to the club. Welcome, Taylor. I do admit you're better looking than I am, but I had a much more dramatic picture. You didn't stand up on the top of a building. A lot of people thought that was a make-believe background. It was not.
You want to what?
Would you like to ask Sonny Mandel, my press secretary, who was very angry at me and kept calling me back as I went closer and closer to the end? At that point, I was feeling at that.
I'm bringing this. We got to bring this up now. You saying that's a real picture?
You don't believe me?
Oh, of course. If you're saying it, I believe you.
Nobody ever believes me. I'm the big liar now.
No, you're not. See, that's the thing. You're saying
all my life, I have been known for being very honest, and now I'm a big liar. That is a picture was taken on the top of 30 Rockefeller Plaza.
Of course, I believe.
Now there is a little there. If I had fallen down, there is a ledge that would have caught me. Although I could have rolled out of it, and it was fairly windy. But the photographer wanted the real shot.
Wow.
And I wanted the real shot, and she insisted on they're doing a background. So I think they had one ready, and I said, bullshit.
Well,
if they didn't get me, I think I did my whole litany. I said, if the mafia didn't get me, if the terrorists didn't get me, if Bin Laden didn't get me, if who else came after me at that point? It was before the Iranians.
I was gonna say the Iranians.
No,
Was this 22?
The Colombian cartels. Yeah.
01 or 2002, right? Or was it 01?
It was that.
You were the 2002 man of the year, or the 2001? Would you say?
2001.
So it was months after 9/11.
It was December of 2001. Several months after September 11. And my main, who came in number 2? Bin Laden. Well, I mean,
here's the picture right here. We have it on the screen.
So people all believe that that's superimposed. That is a live shot of downtown Manhattan somewhere around December 15th, 2001.
Well, Mayor, we don't want
on a cold, not terribly cold, but windy night.
We don't want Taylor Swift in your club because she's anti-Trump. So let's not welcome her to the club.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be smart to be. You can have some other achievements.
I guess.
And exactly what was her achievement?
Just
catching a football player.
Maybe that's about it. Yeah, because her music.
Look,
helping to further the social.
I mean, listen,
she's people dumber.
She's a solid 6. She's not that good looking. I mean,
I think she's very good.
I think I'm a man.
I disagree with you now. We agreed before on somebody. I wouldn't say.
Well, we won't say who, but
I think she's a very good looking woman.
Very beautiful.
And I like, what I like about her, she's sort of my type in the sense that she's very sweet looking. She isn't that hard. Some women are quite beautiful and they're very hard looking.
Well, Mayor, in the background as we speak, Eric Boiling is putting on how Taylor Swift is anti-Trump and she's trying to convince everyone not to vote for him.
Wait. She attended a Gaza fundraiser.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
She's anti-American too.
Exactly. She's anti-American. Yes.
I knew it couldn't have been good.
Yep.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's all
her actions make her a 6, not her looks.
I see.
Yes.
Oh, now I make her a 0.
Yeah, she's a 0. She's a 0.
Yeah.
If she's pro-Gaza, also I would have to make her IQ in double digits.
Yeah.
You're supporting terrorists.
Maybe single.
You think she has time between singing and going out with the football player to read?
No. Well, Mayor, actually, I want to ask you, Taylor Swift, if you're listening, do you think you would get this far in Gaza, in Palestine, as a singer and a woman, independent woman? I don't think so. So you should be pro-American. Thank you. That's all I have to say to that.
I'd like to ask her if she's really smart and knows that everything she says is bullshit, but she says it anyway because she's petrified of losing her career.
That's true.
Now,
All of that could possibly be true, but I have a feeling she buys it sort of. She looks like one of those people that, you know, you could brainwash pretty easily.
I always wonder about it. I can't imagine that people are that dumb. Right?
Oh, come on! Don't you ever want? We're gonna do Ted. We're gonna write down a whole bunch of things. We're gonna first of all, here's what we have in store for you coming toward the end of the year. We're gonna have a Christmas show.
yep, we're putting the pieces together now.
Yep.
A lot of video footage
On the 25th?
Yeah,
We're gonna have a Christmas show. We may have two of them, one before and one on Christmas Day.
Friday night.
We're going to have a show in which we pick out the 5 most important stories of last year.
Yeah, we got to do that. I don't know. What we did last year.
Or we might pick out the 5 most egregious,
You mean in this last year?
desecrations of our
that's-
Constitution
Maybe we should
and
make it the same.
deprivation of our
We're gonna
rights.
do 5 political kind of our stuff, but
Or
I'm
the
gonna do 5
5 or the-
outside, right?
Or
Joe
the
Rogan
5
type
things
stuff.
that makes us no different than a communist country.
But I want to do 5 stories of interest that we did. For example,
How about the redistribution of wealth, which is greater than many socialist countries?
but think of some of the absolutely, Mayor. That's a good one. But just think of all the places we've been this past year: Nashville, Tennessee, East Palestine, Ohio. Of course, our many trips up to Manchester and parts of New Hampshire. Our travels to Palm Beach,
The real estate office
Washington D.C., Michigan. We did a few shows from Michigan, and we could go on and on here.
In
So
fact,
we will
all
have-
of you out there, why don't you invite us? You know, if enough people invite us, we'll come. We're very
Mobile.
we're also very sociable. We like meeting people,
Right.
and when we let them participate in the show, and
Yeah.
right, we have a lot of fun when in Palm Beach we tend to have a little more of a crowd because we do it outside and it's really
Everybody's moving to Florida.
it's really pretty. And my neighbors now join in. I was afraid my neighbors would be upset if it'd be too noisy, but my neighbors now join in the show.
And we won't give away her name, but yes, we have. She's a friend of the show. She's very good to us. She knows who she is. What we're saying, I'm saying hi to her now, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, right
she
after
checks
Christmas.
in at least once a week. We catch up and talk. And,
But
we'll be back down.
we'll be down there after Christmas, and then for a good deal of time. And we're also going to spend some time in New Hampshire as we lead up to the primary.
And comment below now while we're doing this. Comment below. Where are you tuning in from? City, state, and/or country? And we'll bring that up and I'll list a few off for the mayor. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know where in the world on this very busy Tuesday evening are you watching from.
So
Well,
let's
Mayor,
see. I want to mention to people that are not in New York that New York has a new citizen. We're losing a lot of people, but we have a new citizen, and his name is Flaco the Owl. Flaco escaped from the Bronx Zoo, I believe. I don't think it was the Central Park Zoo. It was the Bronx Zoo. Flaco escaped a whole year ago, and he's been taking care of himself rather nicely. And he's hanging out on the Upper East Side now. So we're going to go out and try to catch him. I don't mean catch him. What I mean is, maybe I'll show it this way. This is Flaco.
What a cute owl.
If you're in New York and you see Flaco, let us know, huh? Because Ted and I may go out searching for him like we saved that pigeon.
Whoa,
Remember?
Whoa. Who called him Flaco? And you know where that name came from, right?
You did?
No, but you do real Flaco, Flacco.
No, FLAC.
You guys know why that? Come on, guys,
FLACO.
I have a feeling I know where the name came from. You know the Baltimore Ravens starting quarterback for about a dozen years,
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
So you think that's why?
Is a raven and an owl's an
Well,
owl.
he's still playing.
Oh, sorry, that's an owl. I don't
Yeah.
know why I put that. Why was the thing a raven? Sorry,
Owl.
that's my
Quote the Raven nevermore.
No, Joe Flacco.
The great Edgar Allan Poe.
I think he's retired now.
I think I just saw him playing.
I think we
sure?
just saw him playing. He
You
was
sure?
backing up somebody.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair, but he was playing.
Oh.
So this owl is in the upper
This is
side.
we got to get Ted.
Yeah,
We got to get a better picture.
yeah, we gotta find.
This is not detailed enough. Look.
Get that photographer from.
No, that's pretty, you're kidding, right?
Oh, Mayor, you're right.
You're kidding, right?
What?
That was a good picture.
No, I think we get a better picture than that.
Okay, but that wasn't bad.
Joe Flacco is
The
indeed
colors
still
aren't-
playing for the Cleveland Browns.
I told you.
Yeah, we know we
You're-
saw him
you're
play
right,
the other
you're
day.
right.
I
Mayor.
just saw. I saw him complete a pass. I'm saying about the guy's about 95.
Funny part is he's probably our age, Mike.
No, he's older.
That's in NFL, right? You're
I think
a
he's in-
veteran. You
I
hit
think he's
30.
40. I think he's 40.
I think we should give a call as soon as we finish. You can go watch Greg Kelly,
Yeah.
because I think, and you got to watch him because I'm afraid Greg may have a heart attack. He's so angry about this.
Oh,
Greg
wow.
Kelly,
He's coming
he's off the
He came in
Colorado.
live for this. You know, and we love.
I think he's gonna
Greg
get-
Kelly.
I think Greg's gonna go. Oh, there. She's showing the judges.
Oh, he's bringing up. the
Where did
numbers.
they find these clowns?
Oh my goodness! And we've now entered soccer time.
Soccer time.
Where do they find these clowns? You know, they're all Democrats, but 3 of them voted against it. Ooh, take a picture of that because I want to guess who the dummies are and who the smart ones are before I read the entire opinion. I can see one, I'm sure. He reminds me a little of Engemoron. Now, there's a nitwit, huh? And I wonder if these guys are very political, like in New York. I always thought out west the judges were somewhat more broad-based.
That's a good question, man.
So he did escape from the Central Park Zoo, by the way. This is and it's less than a year ago. He escaped from the Central Park Zoo. He has bright orange eyes. He was recently peering through the window of a Manhattan apartment on 3 consecutive mornings.
He's a peeping Tom.
Oh, yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Flaco the Owl is a peeping Tom. That's the
There you
headline.
go. He's a peeping Tom.
Now he's been hanging around Central Park.
Probably looking for food.
So is the owl? This is an owl that was in captivity, is now out in the public. Now, do owls make New York City home? Is there a large owl population in the city?
No,
Owls are not. a thing.
no,
Are
I'm not even.
owls
I don't even know if
usually-
there's another one.
Owls are usually, you think of them as kind of rural creatures, right? Out in the woods,
I guess
They're
there's probably plenty of food for them here.
hooting and hollering. Well, that's the
There's a
thing,
lady
for an
here
owl.
who's seen him.
So in New York State, there's 8 species of owls, not in the city, in the whole state. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about this? I'm curious. What is his or her chance of survival if he or she remains in
So here we
Manhattan
go.
on the island, or will it be making its way?
The great horned owl is a common year-round resident owl in New York City area. Brooklyn has 2 pairs, one in Prospect Park, one in Greenwood Cemetery. Queens has more as they reside in Jamaica Bay. So there are some owls, but not a lot. Only a
Sounds
few.
like very few.
Very few. Very few.
But this guy hangs around. He was seen atop a 241 Central Park West, a tree outside the Plaza Hotel. He's 13 years old. Do you know if that's old for an owl?
I'll
13?
check it out.
13 is
You know, for a dog, generally that would be kind of oldish, right?
getting up there. For any animal, basically, other than a human.
Somebody,
A typical lifespan for a wild owl
yeah.
is 5 to 12 years.
Ooh.
So he's actually past his lifespan because he was in captivity. So he might not have much longer in the wild. Unfortunately, that's
Wow.
probably why they want to catch him, because he might not have much longer in the wild.
Well, they're not making any attempt to catch him right now. They tried at the beginning.
But if he lived in the wild all his life, his lifespan would be 30 years.
The
Yes.
expert says here in the Post,
So they don't live long in captivity.
No.
So maybe he's going to live longer now. He's escaping the nonsense.
He might be used to being like fed and stuff. That's the problem.
Maybe that food they're giving him is not the greatest or something like that. But live kill can't beat it.
yeah, I wonder, I mean, they don't tell you what he's living on.
I don't even know what owls eat. Let's see.
I wonder if people probably leave things for him too.
What do owls eat? Oh, owls eat rabbits,
Here's a picture of him.
amphibians, fish, and
There he is.
insects.
There he is. There's
Oh, and
there's
squirrels.
Flaco the Owl.
But that's like
That's him. That's actually him.
that's a painting though.
No, that's a picture.
Where is this? Is that the
On top of a building.
that the mosque on 96th Street?
Let's find out.
That looks like the mosque on 96th Street.
Wow. He's a good-looking bird. Handsome fella he is.
Yeah, they got huge eyes.
Very curious.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, like all the time. Like this.
Owls also eat
They
squirrels,
must be smart.
so he will not go hungry in New York City because there is plenty of squirrels.
That's what I was thinking.
But look at his age, though. Is he fat? I mean, he has been in captivity,
Right.
so he didn't develop the skills that.
That's what I'm saying. So he might not last very long in the wild.
But he's out a year and he looks pretty healthy, right? I mean, look at the size of him. This is
No, he's a big boy.
He's
Not-
already a year out, so then he's definitely eating. He's eating. He figured out something. I'm into this. Smart as
There's a whole group now of people tracking him. So there's a group of people. That's why you have all these photographers. You have all these images of the owl, because you have people that are now going out there to track him. So you have all these professional photographers, and we're showing folks a series of these
Did
pictures.
they tell you where that was?
They do. I'm gonna find it.
The owl escaped from Central Park. That I swear, that looks like the mosque on 96th Street as you get on the East Side Drive.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you here. Once you save this.
Well, there he is next to a building. That looks like how we caught the pigeon and saved him. Remember when we caught the pigeon?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Did
These
we
are
put that-
pictures of the owl? This is him on the Upper West Side fire escape. The previous picture.
Oh, take it. Yeah, where is that?
Previous picture was 241 Central Park,
It's an Art Deco building, man.
Art Deco building, 241 Central Park. That's an iconic Art Deco high-rise apartment building.
No windows.
That's from
What is it?
December.
It looks like a prison.
And then this next one we're going to show you. This is the Upper West Side. This
These
is
are
a
people.
fire escape.
These
This is
people
fire
live in a
escape.
building with no windows.
And then this is another one here, Columbus Avenue. The next one,
Oh, I know where that is.
you'll know this one.
Oh,
That's a water tower.
This is at 86th Street. The next one coming in here for our audience. Hold on.
He seems to be hanging out on the west side more than the east side.
I don't blame him.
Look at his ears and his eyes and his nose.
Really?
Like a perfect V. Look at that. See when he looks at you, it's a perfect V. Point of his beak
Well,
goes-
while you're doing that, I'm going to bring you up to date on Yamamoto. The picture where the Yankees are now in a bidding war with the Mets and the Red Sox, and hard to say who's got the edge. They figure he's going to come in over 300 million.
I feel like that's a lot of money for someone who didn't prove anything yet, Mayor.
Well,
My opinion.
he has been the Cy Young Award winner in Japan 3 years in a row, and but the guys in Japan, the pitchers in Japan have almost all worked out. Look at Otani. Oh my goodness. And look at Hideki Irabu with the Yankees. Helped us win a World Series.
The Japanese, they believe in doing everything perfect.
So Otani's agents are very smart, Mayor. You know why? He deferred all that money. So when he retired,
Oh, California's all PO'd.
no, but when he retires,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to live in California and he doesn't have to pay income tax
Yeah.
if he moves to a state.
Gives you an
Like
idea what a
Florida,
joke.
Yeah, Texas.
It gives you an idea what a joke.
So how smart was that of him?
It gives you an
Yeah,
idea what a
yeah.
joke California is,
It's a
right?
joke. It's a joke.
So what I'm showing you here, these are all pictures of Flaco the Owl. So even up to the last couple of days, here he is on a park bench. Here he is on a water tower.
People are catching them all
Yeah.
over the place.
Here he is on a fire escape.
Do they
Here he
get
is
cold?
on the top of an Art Deco
Do
building.
they get cold?
No, I don't think they get
Well,
cold.
look
No,
at
I
all the
don't think so.
spotting.
I
This
don't
is it.
think
We're gonna
so.
take it. We're gonna show the whole map here.
So what happens? What happens if it snows or something?
They have no problem. I
Mayor, you were right. Looking at this map, he has been on the west side.
He
more than
prefers
east
the west side, yeah,
Yes, you're
which
right,
means
you're
he's a left winger, probably.
right.
All right, Flaco. Why don't we, Flaco? Okay, you make it on your own out there. We don't.
They have like that down fur built into their feathers. I think they can take.
So what I'm showing you now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the map, Mayor. We're going to show you this map. You may know this city more than anyone. What does this map tell you about Flaco the Owl, and based off of where he spends his time? Here's the map.
Well, it used to be at one time the west side was more Democratic and the east side was more Republican. It's now all Democratic.
Right.
The west side was also a hangout for the communists. Way back, in the 30s and 40s and 50s. I knew an FBI agent. He would drive me home sometimes, and he'd show me the buildings that he had wired during the communist days. Even Nazi buildings that he had wired.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of that going on back.
A big on the west side. A lot of intrigue on the west side.
This owl is very diverse. He even went to Harlem. Check him out.
Well, look, he's got a bunch up there on the Upper East Side.
Yes. Wow.
Come down a little with the map. Let's see if he
That's
the
it.
map.
That's the map.
Oh, so he's an Upper West Side, Upper East Side guy.
Yeah.
Like the 90s.
Doesn't venture too. If you see the inset there,
Yeah, but he came
see
down.
the
But look,
inset
no.
way
But he
downtown.
came all the way down to the plaza, which would be almost Midtown.
That's
Yeah.
the plaza. Yeah, that's right. That's the bottom of Central Park.
He went there first.
I
That's
did
what-
not
I mean,
know
he's
that
got.
there.
If you look at that 1, 2, 3, number 4 is not far from WABC,
That's a good point.
and
I'll
one of
have to
them,
get a closer look.
is, and he escaped from a place that's about 5 blocks from where we are right now.
There he is on a bench.
Maybe we should invite him over for a show.
There he is on a fire.
Think he has an agent?
Fire escape.
There's
Think
a
he-
water tower.
Think he has an agent?
Think we can get him? Look at him. He's
We
We
should
being
get him to
spotted.
vote for Trump. Register him as a Republican.
But they're getting them. They're getting pictures of them all over town. So we'll keep following this.
No, owls are very wise. He probably will vote for Trump.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to give you some health advice as long as we're in soccer time. According to the journal Sleep Health, sleeping in on weekends could actually save your life in the long run. Embracing lazy Sundays could be good for your health. Even if you don't get, even if you don't get your usual 7 hours of sleep. They're also, you actually can sleep too much. Sleeping more than 9 hours a night, people have a greater tendency to get a stroke.
What kind of nerd wrote this stuff?
That makes sense.
I guess.
I guess.
Oh, look, they're leading Trump up to the thing there.
That's Biden.
Biden. Yeah, I meant Biden. I was thinking about Trump. Oh my goodness! Now I really mean Biden. He look how his face is. His face is puffed up.
Yeah.
It looks like he
Looks like a body double. Doesn't even look the
no,
same.
but doesn't the face look like it's
Maybe
Yes.
some Botox, Mayor. Maybe he got a little Botox action.
Looks like he's struggling there. It really does
Look like he
struggling to
swallowed.
Just
It
maintain.
looks like he swallowed. I think Greg is making the point.
Does he know where he is? I don't think so.
It's so bad. It's getting bad.
Yeah,
man.
it's getting bad.
Yeah.
Look at him there.
Well, we're well into soccer time. We want to thank everyone. Another Mayor.
I just want to see if there's anything else I need to call to their attention before we take off here. No, I think we're pretty much on target.
And of course, this news came late, right before the show.
Yeah,
The
we got ready
president
for it
being
right away.
removed from the Colorado.
We
from
were
the
right
ballot.
on target for it. So we want to have all of you really spend some time reading yourself about this entire situation where they took him off the ballot, because I don't think there's anything that indicates more how far we have gone in becoming a fascist country than that. It is incomprehensible that in a country ruled by law, you would take someone off the ballot for something that has never been interpreted that way, for something where there are several interpretations that indicate it doesn't apply to the president. First, president's office isn't named in it. And number two, there's an enforcement clause that leaves it to Congress to enforce, not the courts, and Congress hasn't enforced it. So those two things would say you can't apply it to the president. But finally, if you were, you can't apply it to him and just guess that he was involved in insurrection based on newspaper articles. Well, I mean, what is that? I mean, they even made more of an attempt in the Soviet Union and in Hitler's Germany to give trials. At least they'd have somebody come in and lie. They didn't even have that. We allow this to stand. We're giving away our country. If we haven't given away our country already, please show some courage of independent thought, courage to stand up to these bullies. Please, please, please.
They want to take away your right to vote.
Yeah. Well, God bless America.
Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow night.